Hi, welcome. This is Anna Bevan Gravely with NCFREE, and I'm joined by Sebastian King. He's a Republican candidate running in Senate District 27. So, Sebastian, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Sebastian King. Thank you for the introduction. And I'm a small business guy. I've been around the political world for quite a while now, and I've decided to jump in and run to make a difference for North Carolina and to continue to make North Carolina the best state for business in the country.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so we're going to jump right into the questions. Have you ever owned a business or been in a management position within a business?
Yeah, so I'm the vice president of a small family business, Triad and Triangle Golf Today. We're the state's largest golf publication, having over 50,000 readers. And we're going through many of the struggles small businesses are going through right now. We're currently transforming our business to an online publication while this coronavirus is changing the everyday functions of many small businesses and many businesses in general. So we're
Mhm.
feeling it on our end, but through prayer and through community support, I know businesses like mine will continue to, sustain until we've finished this pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say that the current level of federal and state taxation is too high, too low, or just about right?
Yeah, so I think the state of North Carolina, so I've been a policy advisor in the General Assembly before I ran for office. And, we've done a lot of great work in North Carolina. Forbes magazine has rated us one of the best states for businesses. And President Trump and Congressman Walker and Congressman Ted Budd here locally, so they have modeled the federal taxation legislation after North Carolina. So I
Mm.
think North Carolina is really setting a model for what the country can do as a whole to be successful in business. So I think the state's doing a great job. We still have a lot more work to do to
Mhm.
compete with states like Tennessee that have zero income tax. I'm from Texas, and we had zero income tax there. I think North Carolina can continue to work towards that, but we're setting a strong example for the federal government. I think the federal government has many challenges, but if they continue to model after states like North Carolina, they'll be in a better position moving forward.
Awesome. Do you feel it is appropriate for state or local government to offer incentives to private businesses in consideration for locating, expanding, or conducting business in a specific location?
So I'm not a big fan of special incentives to bring businesses, but I think it puts the state at a competitive disadvantage if we were
Mhm.
not to do that. I think it's almost necessary in the given climate. I would like to see federal legislation. And when elected to the state Senate, I'll encourage our congressional friends on the federal level to ban incentives all across the United States. But until it's banned federally, it would put North Carolina at a huge competitive disadvantage not to offer special incentives for businesses to come here to North Carolina.
Mm. Describe your personal opinion as to what the key principles of a free enterprise economic system are.
Yeah, free enterprise is limited and efficient government. I think government should be helping public-private partnerships. One thing that my godparents are actually really involved in, which is the Guilford apprenticeship program. I think that's
Mm.
a great thing for North Carolina to be as a government to be involved in, where we partner with private companies to, what they do is they eliminate student debt by paying for students' associate's degree and paying for their four-year degree in some cases while they're gaining trade skills. I think that's very appropriate for free enterprise. Where it's applicable, private public partnerships are a good thing, but government isn't what creates jobs. Government should foster an environment for businesses to thrive and to for businesses to create jobs.
Yeah. In your opinion, what is the appropriate balance in the scope of federal and state regulatory requirements on business? And what, in
Yeah,
your opinion, and what, in your opinion, is the best way to balance the appropriate protections without impugning economic vitality?
yeah. So I think the number one role of government is to keep people safe,
Mm.
but that's a fine balance. We should, like I mentioned just a moment ago, we have to keep government out of the way. So senseless regulations, like we saw before, before here in North Carolina, it was just job killing regulations that were out of date and unneeded. The
Mm.
biggest problem with growing a small business oftentimes is regulation. I've seen that firsthand as a policy advisor in the General Assembly. We've created, we've got government out of the way and created over 500,000 net new jobs here in North Carolina. I think that is the appropriate way uh, to continue to eliminate job-killing regulations, out-of-date regulations that aren't applicable. But we have to keep people safe, so we have to have common sense regulations. I think that's the number one priority of government, common sense regulations.
Yeah, how have you seen this? This is a little bit off book, just out of curiosity, with this time that we're in with COVID-19 and a global pandemic. What have you seen be like a strong example of that, of government getting out of the way of regulations?
Yeah, so during this COVID-19, I think that it's a unique time because no one's really gone through this before.
Totally.
I think allowing people to still, support our small businesses through takeout and not completely having a complete stay at home where people can still support small businesses. I've personally been visiting small businesses every day to try to continue to keep our our economy thriving, especially here in Guilford County. So I think that that's smart for government to do. But also, I think, at times when people are struggling, I think the president and Congress is doing a great job by providing relief. I would love to have seen less pork in that federal bill, but I think providing Americans with direct relief, and then the SBA providing small business loans, I think that's appropriate measures for the government to take to keep small businesses afloat. It's a safety net approach, and I think that's common sense, and it makes a lot of sense for us to do now.
Yeah. So if elected, what are your top 3 priorities?
Yeah, top 3 priorities is, like I mentioned from the onset of the call, keeping North Carolina the #1 state for business. I think a strong economy that promotes economic mobility. I was the first in my family to graduate high school, and then first in my family to go to and graduate college. And I did that.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But that is a testament to how strong the American model is, and we need a strong economy to continue to keep the American dream alive. So a strong economic model. The second is an education system that's strong. My mom babysat 9 kids, and my dad worked 80 hours a week just so we could get into a good school district. They valued education for me, and I think that's what made all the difference for me being the first in my family to graduate high school. So I want to continue to promote that for North Carolina. I think a strong educational system is paramount. And then, just government efficiency, keeping government limited in its scope, but efficient with things it gets involved in. Kind of like what we're in today is having a strong reserve. North Carolina has a AAA credit rating. So God forbid we have to take out money to, assist North Carolina get through this. We're in a strong economic place to do that as a state because of the tough decisions the legislature has made.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Sebastian, for spending time with me and the NC-FREE community. Where can we go to learn more about you?
Yeah, so my website, SebastianKingNC.com. You can follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Everything is Sebastian King NC. So Facebook @Sebastian King NC for Twitter. Instagram's the same way. And SebastianKingNC@gmail.com. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm very accessible, and if elected, I would represent you and North Carolina as a whole. So I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to do that, and I'll work for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you around later.
Thank you so much.